Yeah, it's
Like,
perfect.
yeah,
Absolutely perfect. So, how are you feeling? First of all, congratulations. How are you feeling about this big announcement? It's very exciting.
I'm, I'm very grateful to be a member of San Francisco Opera family. I'm thrilled about about making a opening a new chapter of San Francisco Opera.
Sure. So, tell me about how your relationship with the orchestra developed, because I know that you only began working with them last June, right?
Yes, with Rusalka. Instant report was that I had feeling from the very first rehearsal that we found the same language that we were doing. You know, when you conduct an, a new orchestra, you already get the feeling within a minute how it works. You really feel it on your hand. And I really felt that we had the same language. They understood me and we could communicate about everything. So it felt it felt really comfortable to communicate with them.
And when did you know during that rehearsal process and the performances of that show that this would be a company that you would have such a meaningful relationship with?
Well, I have been guest conducting in many companies,
Yeah.
and I do have, for instance, with Berlin State Opera, kind of regular relationship. And when I conducted in San Francisco with the orchestra as well, but not only with the orchestra, but with the whole company, I had feeling that I could build a special relationship with this company because
Hmm.
I, from the very first moments I walked in, I felt like it was home. Every staff, every musician, every member of San Francisco Opera, they were really professional, but they had such a passion and love for the art and music. So I felt that, and I really wanted to make good relationship with them.
Are there areas of the repertoire that you particularly want to explore with the orchestra and the company? Are there operas that you know that you want to do right away?
Well, I want to conduct as broader repertoire as possible. This is also uh, my passion, let's say, because I studied composition and I admire every composer. How could they create that music, such a music? So I'm going to conduct many. I don't know how to say as broader repertoire as possible.
I'm curious how your experience in composition changes or informs the way that you approach conducting the opera repertoire.
Well, the very first idea that I studied conducting came actually from a conducting teacher at the college I studied. But then um, I when I study a score, I want to find the language of the composer.
Mhm.
And I feel like I have to be an advocate of a composer, of this composer.
I know that you've worked with Daniel Barenboim and Kirill Petrenko and Jesus Lopez Cobos. What have what are some of the things that they've kind of imparted to you or have taught you about leading an orchestra and a performance?
Well, I learned from Daniel Barenboim actually how to think, how to approach to music, how to approach to a score, how to how to create a sound and the basic things. What I learned from him is a sound is like a life of human life. You really have to create a sound because When it's gone, it's dead. It's gone. So it's really art of the moment. So you have to prepare before you create a sound, and then you have to carry the sound in best way you can, and then let them go. And not only those things, but how to interpret the score and about the music and actually Kirill Petrenko is an inspiration to me always since I assisted him, and I saw him how deeply a conductor can go into the score and how to make it real to make music.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Are there particular composers whose music you feel an affinity for, that you love conducting more than any other area of the repertoire?
actually, actually, my favorite composer is always that I'm working on now.
Sure.
Yeah. By the time I was doing Rusalka, Dvorak was my favorite, and now I am preparing a concert with Rachmaninoff Symphony.
Mm-hmm.
So I as I told you earlier, I admire every composer.
Mm-hmm. Do you know the first opera that you will conduct as the new music director officially at San Francisco?
I'm not sure if whether I can speak about it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know about how many operas you'll conduct there over the course of a season?
Yes, it will be 3 to 4 operas per season.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 or 3 in fall season and 1 opera in summer.
And I know that on the 6th, you're leading an Adler Fellows concert.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about that and what it's been like to work with the Fellows? Did they know that you would be the new music director when you started rehearsing with them?
Well, they still don't know about it. They will experience it tomorrow.
Okay.
And and working with the young artists is one of my passion. It's my passion goes to the young artists, mm-hmm. and I really enjoy working with them. And I want to support the young artists in the way I was supported by older generation. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I sometimes when I work with them and I give some notes for them, I have feeling that I'm actually talking to myself, and I learned a lot about that from that.
That's interesting. I know that your career in North America has developed so rapidly, and I know that your North American debut was it 2 years ago in Houston, leading their performances of Traviata. Has your approach to conducting changed during the time that you've been at a lot of major American opera houses?
Well, I think just conducting on the podium, it's the same whether I'm in Europe or in America. But that the beginning was really challenging and different because my debut was right after Hurricane Harvey. Okay. So we had this opera season in the convention center in Houston, but I saw the audience was so grateful and happy that the company HGO didn't cancel the season but carried in this convention center. So I really enjoyed that moment and also was very grateful. But conducting, in terms of music making, it didn't change.
I know that you are going to LA for Roberto Devereaux, and then you're going to Houston for Salome, and then is it back to Berlin or is it Stuttgart for Tosca?
Back to Berlin.
Yeah. Does it help your approach to looking at a score to go from an opera like Roberta Devereux to a completely different opera like Salome? Do you see something new in dissimilar operas when you approach them?
Well, for me, making music, in terms of making music, for me, it's music is about language. Every composer compose on their language's rhythm, I believe. And when I study a score, I read the score like I read through a score like everybody does, reads a book. And when I find the language of composer, what he wanted to say, what he wanted to create, I feel I'm living in this world.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why also I told, like I told you before, that every composer that I'm working on is my favorite.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, it's been such a pleasure to talk to you, and I really appreciate the chance to connect and the time.
I really thank you.
Yeah, sure. And congratulations on the announcement. It's big news, so we wish you the best of luck with everything.
Thank you very much.
Sure,
Thank
of
you.
course. Thank you.
It's been a pleasure.